Omega lol.
Alright, what's up guys, it's Greg here today bringing you guys a Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay commentary. Today we'll be talking about the best perk one in the game, and whenever I'm going to talk about like these best perk ones or like best class setups or anything like that, what I'm actually pointing this towards is the average player, right? I'm not really pointing this towards the above average players or below average players, but it will work for everybody, and that is why I like to aim this for the average player, just because that kind of includes all skill groups, and I just wanted to point that out real quick, because as you guys know, the average player is playing a completely different game than the above average players, and the below average players are playing a completely different game than the above average players and the average players in this game, because of the skill-based matchmaking, which tries to put people up against each other of similar skill levels. So I just wanted to point that out real quick, and that's why I tried to do that. But anyways, I want to talk about in general what I believe is the best perk one in the game, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I believe that it is underused and a lot of people are not giving it the attention it deserves because people are so caught up over EOD and cold-blooded. So let's go ahead and get right into the topic. And I believe the best perk in the perk 1 category is Quick Fix. And the reason why is because having your health at 100% is extremely crucial to staying alive, as well as going on kill streaks and playing the objective and just everything in general. EOD in this game I don't really think is as good as it was in past Call of Duties, and the reason I say that is because EOD, basically whenever you are hit by an explosive, you are basically one shot to anyone that can shoot you with a bullet, and if you get hit by one bullet you're dead anyways. Of course you could always stim shot whenever you get hit by that, but what if somebody throws a nade at you, whatever, it hits you, you stim, but then you get hit by an RPG, another guy nades you, you know what I mean? Like, most of the times, whenever I get hit by something with EOD, like a Claymore, it's the only reason I'd ever use it, right, is to survive a Claymore blast or a proximity mine a little bit better, but whenever people are using something like RPGs, frags, semtexes, it's never really all that useful, and I really feel that EOD, you could just run Spotter, since the perk 3s, they're all kind of balanced, and there's not really one that stands out over the others. So I would say that you should run Quick Fix rather than EOD, and you could just use Spotter to survive those Claymores anyways, because generally whenever, like I said, you get hit by a rocket launcher or a frag or something, you're going to get killed by the guy that tossed it at you or shot you anyways, or somebody else that could be nearby, and you're not really going to have time to stim and stuff like that and survive for the most part, unless, you know, they're shooting you from back, but you can use your judgment on that. But I really think that having Quick Fix is such an important advantage, because let's say you're caught with your pants down and 3 guys just come around and, you know, you kill one of them and he damages you a little bit. Well, your health is going to instantly start regenerating, which is definitely useful. And whenever you instantly start regenerating health, what that means is that you are going to be better you're going to be better prepared for the next gunfight you get into, so whenever somebody else comes around and starts shooting at you, you're already at full health, and they might think you're going to be weak, right? So they might ego challenge you or whatnot because they think you're going to be weak, but you're already back to full health because of Quick Fix, and I can't tell you the amount of times that damaged people will just come around the corner and try to challenge you just because they think you're weak, but you're actually not. Quick Fix is such a good perk, especially for, like I said, staying alive, and it can really help you maybe if you don't have the best of accuracy and you happen to win a gunfight you shouldn't have, and all of a sudden you are back up to full health within basically 2 seconds or whatever, and instead of like the normal 6 or 7, whatever it is. And this can also be useful if like somebody, you know, is using, I believe, the frangible wounding rounds. I believe Quick Fix might work against that and counter it. Don't quote me on that, but if most people aren't running that anyways, so it's not too big of a deal. But one of the things is you don't actually have to run the stim shot then, and you can use something like the gas grenade, the the stun grenades, the flash grenades, and other things. Like, it opens up a slot basically for you. Now, the stim shots are still useful, of course, because you can replenish your sprint, like double sprint, as well as if you're not going to be able to kill somebody, and if you're in a gunfight and you get hit and you need to like regenerate real quick, you can still stim up. In combination, it basically makes you like you're some super soldier and really cracked, especially if you're using specialists. So I really think that in unison, stim and Quick Fix is still a good thing, but it's not necessary, and I would definitely recommend trying out the stim shots just because like with the quick fix, just because you can stay alive a lot longer. But if you don't want to use it, then go ahead and use something like a flash grenade or stun grenade, because those can also help you, especially if you know multiple people are going to attack you at once, and if one of them happens to damage you, at least the other ones are still stunned if you happen to throw the stun at them. And then on top of that, you have quick fix to help you start regenerating health, so you don't have the stim shot. And then you know what I mean. It's just overall the perk is very useful. Now, the reason I say that Cold-Blooded is another overused perk is simply because of the Warzone classes are the same as the multiplayer classes. People that are coming over from multiplayer into Warzone and vice versa are generally going to keep that Cold-Blooded perk on, and Cold-Blooded is useful, in my opinion, in modes like honestly, only really in Warzone. In Ground War, usually you want to stick to a building and patrol that area, so generally, Cold-Blooded really isn't all that useful in my opinion in Ground War. Something like Kill Chain you could get away with. Quick Fix is really good in Ground War as well. But in my opinion, I think it's overrated. The only reason Cold-Blooded is really even good is to stay away from thermal users, but again, generally snipers are going to be watching the areas where you're going to be anyways, and they're still going to be able to see you super easy anyways without Cold-Blooded on, because thermals are just that strong in this game and doesn't really hide you much. The glowing white hot or just being a gray outline, it really doesn't matter all that much. I honestly find it really easy to see people with a thermal anyways, because it just looks like you're looking at people with black and white, so it's really not that big of a disadvantage to be shown as white hot. But I also think it's overrated because you're assuming by running Cold-Blooded at all times that people are going to be dropping VTOLs, support helos, and whatnot on you, sentry gun. I think that's what it protects you against, a sentry, the VTOL, and a support helo. And you have to remember, that's at least a 7 kill streak. People have to be on for that perk to really even be useful, aside from the thermal scopes. So I really just don't see Cold-Blooded as being all that useful as a perk, and a lot of people might forget that you can just switch back to it anytime you want to, middle of the match. So what's the point of using Cold-Blooded off the start of a match if people aren't going to be getting kill streaks on you right away, right? Like if you find a match that maybe, okay, the kill streaks are going to start targeting you, there's a lot of buildings on these maps. Like, I just don't understand why. I feel like a lot of people are making the mistake by running Cold-Blooded because it just doesn't really help you all that much, considering how the maps are designed, how the game plays, and how, people actually have to go on a pretty long streak just to be able to earn the types of kill streaks you're trying to hide from. So I just really feel that Cold-Blooded just is way overrated. EOD is overrated. Especially whenever you could just use spotters, since the majority of people in pubs are using claymores and bouncing betties in general, and you can also hack them with spotter too. So I would say spotter is the perk you should be running if you're that worried about claymores and bouncing betties. But I really think that Quick Fix is definitely the best perk one for the reasons I gave, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like, let me know how Quick Fix does for you, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.
Well, you know it wasn't me, Greg. I had 3 tags. You're going for nukes. I'm the best teammate until confirmed. If you're going for a nuke, I'm the best teammate to have for till confirmed.